Hi everyone, and welcome to your October pick a pile reading. So apologies, there will not be any star sign readings for October 2020, but there will be for November 2020. So apologies for the videos for this month, but I want to try and make this nice and in depth for you so that you still get the guidance you need for October. So I'll move the camera down for you. Okay, so as you can see in front of you, there is 3 different piles. I would like you to take a few moments and relax and see which pile is calling to you the most. So first we have here is the Smoky Quartz, the lovely Smoky Quartz. Then we have the Rose Quartz crystal. And here we have the Clear Quartz crystal. So this is the time now for you to relax and really listen to your higher guidance and see which pile is calling you the most. I'll give you a few moments now. Okay, so first I'm going to be starting with the Smoky Quartz. So this is a reading for the Smoky Quartz. So I've pulled out all the cards and I've had a really good look to see what could be in store for you this month. So what I'm seeing is that there has been a loss. So I've got the 5 of Cups reversed here. So when we look at this person here, because it's in the reverse position, I feel like this is a loss that happened a little while ago. And it also could be a sign of regrets as well. So when we look at this person and they're really staring hard at the cups, here you can see them, they're falling down, and some of them are upright as well, but they're upright behind that person. So this can also be our perspective on how we see this situation as well. Are we looking at the positive sides of our life, or are we focusing on what we have lost? So this is not the complete focus of the month, but it's coming up very, very prominent as the first thing that's sort of coming up there. I'm seeing really good things for the month of October here. It's all about the transition here. So how we are viewing our future, what we are manifesting in our lives here. So when we see this person, it's really good to understand is how is this loss affecting your life, and how you're viewing your present circumstances as well. So it's all about, are you moving through those stages of grief? Are you moving through your regrets easily enough? Are you sort of still stuck in the past with a few things here? It's a really good time to really evaluate your situation, how this is affecting you, and are you moving through this at the natural, sort of course of events as well. So this is a really good time to really just go, okay, I'm okay with my feelings. I'm okay that I'm feeling like this at this time of my life, because it's healthy to go through those stages of grief. It's not healthy to push our feelings down and pretend that they're not there. So it's really how we are handling this kind of thing day to day. So that's interesting that came up here. I'm also seeing the 6 of Swords. So that's very interesting next to that card as well. So the 6 of Swords is all about our transition to the pastures that are sort of greener and looking better in our lives as well. So you can see the calm waters ahead of this person too. So they're going from really difficult times to times that are a bit easier to deal with, but it doesn't mean that we're completely disregarding what's happened here, because we can still see the rough waters here. We can still see that this has an effect on us. So emotionally, it's about dealing with the transition, dealing with the emotions, and moving through this at a nice, beautiful, flowing pace as well. So that's what's coming up there as well. So I'm also seeing dreams. Dreams need a practical plan here. So this is the full moon in Taurus. So when we see this, it's all very well to have a great, beautiful dream to go for, but are we actively moving towards our dreams? Are we putting the steps into place? So this is coming in here saying we need to ground this and we need to make it a reality. Yes, you can go after what you want. This is actually telling you that you can go and get what you want out of your life, but put the steps into motion, put the work in. Sometimes it just is not handed on a silver platter. We do have to put this work into place and we have to make those steps forward. So that's very beautiful to see there. It's just putting a bit of extra work in. I'm also seeing here, take time to breathe out for the month of October. So sometimes it might be that you're just getting anxious about things and it's like, oh, I get frozen in inaction when it happens. So this is the month to be able to really balance things out. Sometimes we can be overwhelmed with all the things we need to do in our lives, and it can be like, oh, I want to get to point Z, but I'm at point A. How am I going to do all the rest of the stuff? It's a step at a time. If you make routines, if you make everything practical, if you're organized, things will happen for you. So sometimes when we overwhelm ourselves, this is what happens. We don't breathe, we don't relax, and everything just looks too difficult to do. So that's interesting when I see that there. So I'm really seeing that there's such a big transition happening for some of you who have chosen this pile. And it's interesting to see we've got the Smoky Quartz here. So I'm really feeling like a good dose of grounding for this month would be very beneficial for you guys. So this is the month to try and just make things actually have a nice step-by-step process, getting organized, doing the things around the house, doing the normal day-to-day things. And sometimes when we've had a big thing like a loss in our lives, or we have regrets for things we didn't do before, and then we go, oh, this is the dream I want to do, and then all the work just seems too much, and then the practical plan just goes out the window. It seems like things just won't happen. But all it's saying is getting organized, putting the work in. You can do this. You can actually get what you want if you do put in those hard yards. Sometimes it means getting up early of a morning. Sometimes it means I have to shift this or I have to shift that. Make your dreams a priority in your life. If it's not a priority, it just won't happen for you. So it's actually putting the work into place to do it. Now I'm seeing here the star. It's a beautiful card to see, the star. So this is about a card of balance as well. So when we see the star, and you can see the water here, so you can see how the water just flows easily with this card, and you can see the star above her. So this is the guiding star for this woman. So she is naked. You can see that she's pure. She's unafraid of who she is. She's comfortable in her own skin in this card here, but she is guided by the star, and she's like, well, I'm listening to my higher guidance, but I'm comfortable in myself, and I'm comfortable with my emotions too. So the water flowing is the flowing of the emotions. Things are easily flowing here for this person. So this is about being able to be okay with our emotions and okay with our bodies and who we are, as well as our persons. Are we comfortable with us? Are we comfortable with what we want? Are we actively taking those steps and listening to our higher guidance, which is what this card is saying here. that it's the guiding star to guide us on the journey that we need to go on. So that is beautiful to see there. Now I'm also seeing the King of Cups reversed. So when I look at the King of Cups, this person here is someone who's caring, they're intuitive, and they're very in touch with their higher selves, but they're incredibly grounded as well. So they're in a position, a leadership position as well. So this person also is someone who can see the funny, you know, sort of sides of life as well. So they're happy to have a joke, but they're like, well, I'm not going to take life too seriously, but I know I can work when I need to work as well. So this is the person that I feel like a lot of you are striving to be. And I can really see that you are starting to take those steps. And it's like, I'm starting to take on that guidance that I need to hear. So it really tells me here that you are actively working towards this person. So a lot of you feel like I want to be entrepreneurs. You want to be in positions of leadership. You want to be balanced, and you want to have that sense of fun in your life as well. So this really tells me you are on the way. You've got the guiding star here as well. So she is pointing you in the right direction. So remember, this king, he listens to his higher guidance. So it's being a little bit more intuitively aware. Are you listening to your higher self? Are you listening to that whispering voice that's telling you what it is that you want in your lives? So that's beautiful to see there as well. Now at the, I guess the base of it all, I can see that some of you have had some real challenges, but I am also seeing that there is going to be some kind of opportunity, some kind of offer here, because this is really like standing out to me as probably one of the most main focuses, I guess you could say, with the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles is the offer. It's the offer of a new opportunity. So sometimes we can miss opportunities because we're like, oh, we're a bit blinded to, you know, we've got to go down this road, we've got to go down that road, we've got to go down the expected road. So when we see this card here, it's like, here it is. Here is your opportunity to do this, to do what you actually want to do. I feel like it's in the area of financial opportunity too. So whether a bit of extra money comes in during the month of October that helps you and guides you onto the road that you actually want to be on. So that's really beautiful to see there. So when I see that, and then on the basis of it, we've got the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, both in the reverse positions. These are very similar cards. They're similar in their colors as well. So you can see the swords are in that person's back, and they really pin that person to the ground here. So when I see this card, it really tells me that some of you have felt like you've been really jabbed to the ground and jabbed to a certain position, and you haven't been able to move out of it. And that it's been very difficult for you to have choices in your life. But when I see this, the Ace of Pentacles coming in, it's telling me choices are coming in for you. So you're finally going to be able to have the opportunities you want to go into the new directions that you want to go. So that's fantastic to see there. I'm also seeing with the Five of Swords. So some of you with the finances, you've been feeling like you've left out in the cold a little bit. It's like, I can't see my way in. I'm feeling stranded, and it's really similar to the Ten of Swords. It's like I feel stranded. I feel like I can't move. There's no opportunity. There's no money. So this, and then we've got this coming over the top, tells me that here it is. Here is your new opportunities. So it's asking the question of, what are you going to do with these opportunities that are presented to you? And are you going to recognize those opportunities as well? Sometimes they're very subtle. Sometimes it's like, it's not this, I've won the lottery. Sometimes it's like you've got a bit of extra money to do that course you want to do. And it's like, are you going to take that new position that you want to attain, or the new career you want to attain, seriously? It's like you have just the right amount of money to do this, or you get a free gift with something that is towards the career or the opportunities you want. So it's recognizing those subtle signs and those subtle hints, you know, to the direction that you want to go. So I'm also seeing that there would have been probably a couple of people in your life that have sort of exited. And I can see there's someone that was kind of spiritual. There's someone that was very caring and very intuitive that may no longer be in your life anymore. And I'm also seeing someone like the King of Swords as well. So someone who was very logical and they could see both sides to the situation. And they probably would have been a really good mentor as well. So we've got the balance between the intuitive person and the someone who was a bit more straight talking and to the point with a few things. So I feel like when I see this here with the Three of Swords, there was a separation of the three. So three people went three separate ways. So this really tells me with the Five of Cups as well, that there was some kind of breakup of like maybe like a friendship group. It could be family, like people going their separate ways. I'm really seeing this is that it was becoming overwhelming, this type of relationships. And I could see that with the Ten of Wands coming over the top. It was just, there was too much to carry and there was too much responsibilities, and it was just coming to an end point. And I guess what it's saying is with new life coming in as well, that sometimes things do end and that it's in order to begin the new life, and you just take what you've learned from these people onto your new life. So there's a learning with everything, even though it can be very difficult that there's certain relationships in our lives that are no longer there. I can really see here that it was necessary that these relationships ended. So I know this, like really, it makes no sense to me saying all this, but this is what I'm really reading in these cards. And it's the message that needs to be heard by, I don't know who needs to hear it, but there's someone that needs to hear it. That these relationships had to end, but there was a lot of learning that happened with it. So here's the new life here. So this is interesting because we've got the Six of Swords, we've got the transition happening here. You're transitioning to a new person, and you can see this is a beautiful card to behold. That little fairy's got light beaming out of her, and notice it's white, the light that's coming out. It's purity. It's the newborn. It's the baby coming into the world. And it's like I've got fresh new eyes to see what I want to see with this new life. And what is it you're going to do with it? This is your time to manifest what you want. Now, I'm also seeing Treasure Island. So that's a beautiful card too. This is the card about manifesting dreams, manifesting what you want to see in your life. I am seeing you're going to need to do the work though. You are going to need to make your dreams into a your practical plan needs to be laid out. So in order to achieve these dreams. So it's all about believing, manifesting, knowing you can do this. You have the power to make the life you want. So that is beautiful when we see Treasure Island, because it's like those gifts are achievable. Your dreams are achievable. And it's almost like stop believing that it's just a fantasy and that it's something that you're playing around with in your mind. So that's really interesting when I see Treasure Island. It's kind of like, oh, it's the treasure at the end of the rainbow. It's the pot of gold. Sometimes it's not believable. It's all just fantasy, and it's all like, oh, I'd like to do it, but you know, it's going to be kind of impossible. It's not impossible. Of course, we've got the Nine of Cups coming here too. So this person is very happy with what they've got. You can see with the smug kind of smile happening there, and it's like, oh, I've got all these cups behind me. So this is the wish come true card. So dreams do come true, but sometimes it's just not going to be handed over with the platter there. Now I'm also seeing here justice will be served. So it's a very interesting message with this one here too. So someone's wronged you, and it's interesting because it's kind of like karma coming around, and justice is being served on a certain situation here. So someone who has done some wrong, taken something maybe from you or someone you love, But what goes around comes around, and that's really coming in there with the Justice card. So that's interesting to see. So that's it for the month of October. We've got one last card, the Empress. So it's like really sort of heading towards what the Empress is all about. She is the one that of beauty, love, self-love, self-care. So this is the month of also self-care for you too, making your dreams a reality. And it's a month to focus on you and what you want. So good luck, and thank you so much for listening to this video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gives you some guidance for the month of October. Thank you so much. So this is a reading for the rose quartz crystal. So very interesting. What I'm seeing is, and what really jumped out to me was you're very close to your goals with this rose quartz reading today. So that's beautiful to see there. You're very close to your goals. So what I'm also seeing is the fork in the road in the reversed position. So I really feel like you had a really sort of maybe sudden change in your direction lately. And it might be that you were looking at two different choices and you're like, which way should I go? And then you're standing there in the middle. So I really feel like you have sort of made your choice, and there has been a lot of difficulties in this choice as well. But I feel like you've made the choices that were meant to be for you as well. So you're kind of like, oh, should I go down this way? It's the expected road. Or should I go down this way? This is what I actually want to do. So I feel like a lot of you are leaning towards what you actually want. So that's very interesting there, because especially when we're seeing you're very close to your goal. So that's beautiful to see there. Now, I'm really finding it quite interesting. I've got the Knight of Wands in the reverse position right at the beginning, and I'm also seeing the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position. So this tells me that there is a missing energy when it comes to the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands as well. So the Knight of Wands is someone that is really, really fiery personality. They like challenges. They like interesting things. They like traveling, and they've got this beautiful energy about them, and they really know how to self-motivate themselves. So whether this person was in your life and they're no longer there anymore, I'm really sort of leaning towards the fact there's a relationship that kind of ended. I'm also seeing that with the reversed Knight of Pentacles, that there's some independency that some of you are needing to get for this loss of this type of person in your relationship or in your life. It could be friendship as well, or it could be that you've lost your confidence along the way and you're starting to gain your independency again. So this is the time now for self-love. So when we see love in the reverse position here, it's kind of like, now I need to love me. I don't need a relationship to complete me. This is the time now I'm going to start to really gain my own independence, because the Nine of Pentacles is about independence. It's about having that kind of energy where you go, I'm okay with me. I don't need someone to provide for me. I can make my own money. I can supply for myself. I have a job that I find that I'm really highly respected in. I respect myself. So this is interesting when you see the Nine of Pentacles. So when I turn this card around, you can see that there's pentacles around her. There's blossoming fruits. She's also got a falcon on her hand, and she's in calm control. This is the card of calm control. It's not hard control. So this is all about having that calm control in your life. Is that missing at the moment? Are you finding that it's really difficult to, sort of control all the things you need to control? Is some things becoming out of control because you're trying to spread yourself too thin as well? So this is the time to think about what it is that you need to balance out in your life. So if you are working towards goals, it's nice to know that you are close to achieving those goals, especially when we see this card here. So it's like that nice reminder is you are there, you're nearly there. So it's that little bit longer and you're going to reach it. And especially too, when you see the light here, it's kind of like, here's the dark trees and then there's the light at the end of the tunnel. So here's the light showing you that you're nearly there, which is beautiful to see. So when we have relationships and certain things that have ended in our lives, it's kind of like, oh, we're carrying around this negativity, sense of negativity, or a sense of, you know, it's like, oh, this is getting me down. I remember the good times. I remember what happened here and what happened there. So here's the time to release the negativity. So it's time to release things like resentments, regrets, things that hold us back. So it's all very well to feel the feelings you need to feel when you're grieving something. It's healthy to feel those feelings and go into the shadow and the dark phases of your life. You know, life's not all about light all the time. So it's like we can't have light and darkness needs to be there as well as the balance of the things. So when it's time to release though, when we actually reach that point where it's not healthy to hold on to those negativities anymore, it's that healthy time to release all the negative stuff. So this card's coming in as a reminder that this will be a necessary thing for you to do. Now, so because you're close to achieving your goals, I'm seeing the 8 of Pentacles reversed here. So I feel like with some of you, it may have been a back and forth when it comes to the goals that you're going for. It's like, oh, I'm going to do it, now I'm not going to do it. Oh, I'm going to do it, now I'm not going to do it. So you've been backwards and forwards on this particular venture. It's asking you here to keep at it and keep working hard. So sometimes we need to sit down and get the work done. So this is the card here of the 8 of Pentacles reminding you to do that. So you can see this person here, he's working hard on pentacle to pentacle and he's going through the steps. He's going through the motions here. So when we see him and he's working hard on each and every single step, that's the kind of detail this card is asking you to take. And there's a lack of work happening at the moment. So it's time to actually get focused on your goals and get focused on what you need to do. Are you actually taking that time out to do the necessary work? It's what this card is asking you to do, especially when it's in the reverse position here. So now it's time to focus on what you actually want. It's time to release the negativity. It's time to have faith in your dreams and love and care for yourself as well. So even though we have losses of certain people in our lives, that gets to a point where we're like, okay, we need to start focusing on me and what I can do, because we can't give from an empty cup. If we're not completely full and completely happy with ourselves, things will not actually work out for us very easily. So I'm also seeing here the 4 of Pentacles. So you can see this person here and they're holding on to stuff. They're holding tight onto their pentacle, especially the one around here. So you can notice it's sitting where the heart chakra is there. So it's like I'm holding on to something that is no longer necessary for me. So this is really telling me here that this could be a relationship too. When I see that it's a pentacle there, it's kind of like, is there financial attachments there as well? Security, like sense of security from this relationship that you're holding on to. So it really is a question of what is it you're holding on to? Is it the sense of security? Is it the sense of what that person actually gave to you? Is it because you miss them or love them, or is it because you miss the type of relationship that was providing you? So that's interesting when we see the 4 of Pentacles there, and then we see the releasing of the negativity too. So it's time to release some stuff. Now, when I see the middle of the month here, it's interesting because I feel like we've got the 8 of Wands. So it looks like things are going to start changing for you, but it might be a bit of a slow change. So when we see this, it's normally the arrival of news or an event that happens very quickly as well. But because it's in the reversed position, it's telling me that it could be a delay, or there could be that point of time where it's going to start happening, but it's like, we've got to hold back. We can't go yet. So there's a backwards and forwards when it comes to this new opportunity and new change in your life. So this is the time is to really go, I need to be ready for this change. It's asking you to release the past, release what is no longer needed, make room for the new. We've got the building blocks here. This card here tells me that you're going to start building yourself up again into your new world, into your new life. So when we do this, when we start building what we actually want in our lives, it can take a bit of time to do this. So it doesn't happen overnight that, there's a building erected. It takes time to actually move through the stages. And it really is telling me there the first stages that you can do to start manifesting that new life is to release the old. So then we can have this come in, the new news, the arrival of information, the arrival of change, because it is there and it's waiting in the background there, but you need to let it in, let it happen. Now we can also see here too, it looks like there's going to be a celebration. So I can see the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. So I really feel like when I see this, especially with the Three of Cups, it's a celebration of, like you can see women there dancing around. They're celebrating their uniqueness. They're celebrating what it is to be a woman. And it's kind of like it's an empowering thing that's happening too. So I'm really seeing some good changes when it comes to the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. So the Four of Cups here is like achievement. Things are actually happening that is new things. And it's like achieving, some really good steps in your life. So I really feel like whatever it is you're working towards, you're going to start to see the rewards for it too. So, and I feel like you're going to get a lot of good support too, like friendships around you. People are going to support this new venture of areas that you want to go into. So that is beautiful to see there. And I feel like when you start to see the results and start to see the achievements, new things will start to really come in, and you're going to see the sweeping Eight of Wands come in really, really hard and fast, like a new opportunity might open its door. And because you're starting to make those steps towards the direction you want to go, new, bigger things are going to start happening. It's having that confidence to go into those new directions and being bold about it too. You don't need someone there holding your hand and telling you that you can do it. This is all about you and your independency. The Three of Wands is a real celebration of empowerment, and it's what we can bring, our individualities, because they're going, yes, I'm free. It's like a beautiful card of freedom and fruitfulness that comes out of celebrating one another, and that sense of community that you can be independent, but it's nice to also have support from others as well. You just don't need I'll hold your hand, it's okay. Don't take that step. That's a bit scary. This is I'm going to take those bold moves. I'm going to make those bold decisions. So that's really beautiful to see there. Now I'm also seeing too, with this is the Three of Pentacles in the reverse position too. And then we've got this next to building blocks. So I really feel like with this, it's all about taking those really, really little baby steps to building blocks of your new life as well. So sometimes I think it's more of a past card when it comes to the Three of Pentacles, that you may not have felt like you've been supported enough to your dreams, and that you hadn't had the right sort of people in your life to build on those beautiful dreams. But it's telling me here that there might be new people that come in, or new kind of support that comes in that helps you into that new direction. So you had that fork in the road before, and I feel like you took a road where there was like, might be a little bit scary, but it's giving you the opportunity to go down somewhere completely different that you hadn't really had that before. That kind of support is a different kind of support. I feel like you're meeting different kinds of people that are really helping you in your new direction. So that's beautiful to see. Now I'm seeing also too, with Temperance here, and I'm also seeing the King of Pentacles. So when we see the King of Pentacles in the reverse position, it's telling me that there might be a lack of structure or a lack of finances in some areas. But I really see that this might be an area where you may need to seek out some mentoring. So someone who is good with money, good with structure, good with routines, and knows how to really help you in those curly situations where you're like, oh, I don't have enough finances here. So it's all about that kind of mentorship. And sometimes they will just tell you things and it'll be like, oh, I didn't realize that before. And it's like, it's a little bit more easier than you actually think. And also it's a good idea to really take a good close look at your finances and where you're spending money too, and where you could be overspending money. So it's telling you that you can be actually quite wealthy if you're organized about what you're doing with your finances and where you're placing your money. So that's interesting to see there. Now, I'm also seeing too, with the Temperance card, and I'm also seeing the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is all about that self-empowerment, and we were just speaking about this before. The power is within you. You can manifest your dreams. You can do it. I know it sounds like, oh, everyone just says that, but it's not. You can do it. The power is within us. Sometimes we think we need others to provide for us, but this is not true. This is all about you and having that long-term vision. You can see this person here and he's got that long distance view and he's like, oh, what am I going to do? I've got the world in my hands. What is my next step? It's about being bold. It's about being brave. And it's about having that really like where you see yourself, that manifestation, where you see yourself in that future. What does that look like? I'm also seeing here too that the balance needs to be brought in for the month of October too. So this is about the balance of emotions. And it's really like, my emotions might be really, really high. Sometimes they might be really low. Temperance is coming in and saying, it's okay to feel and I really see the crown in the distance and the path there. It's like you're on the right path. So that really tells me that there was the crown chakra to the enlightenment as well. So it's like you're on the right path, but it's just, you need to be able to balance your emotions along the way as well. So have that really nice sense of care for you, yourself, your health and vitality too, because Temperance is all about health as well. So really look after yourself and take the time that you need to take time out. So the life is not all about work, it's balance as well. Now I'm also seeing the Queen of Cups. So I really feel like this is you guys here. And the Queen of Cups is someone who is intuitive. She is someone in touch with her emotions. It's not surprising that Temperance is right next to her as well. So it's all about listening to your higher guidance, what it is you actually want. Keep that focus, keep that goal. Release your negativities as well. And so you can move on. And also you're very close. You're so close to achieving the goals that you want. So it's maintaining that focus and that sense of manifestation and being brave about your future too. That's beautiful to see. I'm also seeing the Tower in the reverse position. So this tells me that internal changes you're going through. You're going through a storm of emotions and stuff. Sorry, the video cut out there. So it's saying that you're got that internal storm happening there. But it's really, really saying that it's inside you, but you can deal with this. You can handle the storm. You can handle the changes. You are the magician of your own lives. So that's it for the rose quartz crystal reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you. So this is a reading for the clear quartz crystal. So very interesting month for the people who chose this crystal. I'm really seeing new life. Like we've got the Fool coming in here for you guys this month. So the Fool is about that new journey. And it's the new journey where you don't know a lot about what could be in front of you. So it's a little bit scary. So there's like this, I need to jump off the edge and where am I going to land? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be safe? So that's very interesting there, but you can see the little white dog there. So you're being guided on this journey too. That really stands out to me here. We can see the mountains in the distance here. So we can see that the journey may look a little bit scary, but until we take that leap, we're not going to know what kind of wonderful things can be in store for us. So this is the month of about having those faith in your dreams and having faith in your goals as well. I know sometimes it can be really difficult, and it really tells me in this spread here that some of you have lost a little bit of faith along the way when it comes to your dreams. So we've got this card coming up here. Have some faith in it. We've got the flowers. You can see the little butterfly here too. And it's sort of like, here's the bee and it, it's going to pollinate the flowers and the butterflies coming there. It's like that beautiful, dreamy kind of picture and image there. You got the purple color as well. That purple color really tells me that it's opening up the crown chakra, and it's about opening yourself up to the possibilities of what can blossom. Flowers are blossoming here, and are you putting the work into nurturing your dreams and that? So that's what the bees are doing when we can see that they're going to the flowers here. So that's very interesting to see. So we've also got come to the edge. So it's very in line with the Fool, this card here. So it can be a little bit scary to go to the edge. And you can see this woman and she's dancing on the edge. And then she's got these petals and you can see it, they look like sort of shapes of hearts as well. So she's dancing around on the edge, but she hasn't quite jumped yet, but she's not afraid at the same time to be dancing around there. And she kind of looks free, and it's like, wow, why are you dancing right on the edge? Or, don't you understand it's a little bit scary to do that and you could fall off? So it's kind of like, this is the month to be a little bit more bold about your moves. Are you actively pursuing what you want to pursue when it comes to your dreams? Or is it just like a fantasy that you kind of think, oh, it's not worth it. It's going to be really scary. I don't have enough confidence in myself as well. Have confidence in yourself. Have confidence in what you want. You only get one life, and it's like, are you doing what you want with this one life? So we don't know what we can achieve until we put ourselves to the test. So that's interesting to see there. So what I'm really seeing at the beginning of it all is that I see there was kind of like an ending of something, and also there could be that transitional stage where you're thinking about ending something. So here we go. It's time to go. So something's not serving you anymore. It could be work, relationships. It could be anything to do in the areas of you're feeling attached to something. It could even be your house or your apartment where you're living. It's interesting because when something starts to not work in your life anymore, you will start to see that it's just not doing anything. It's sort of just there, and it's like, wow, I'm really, like, especially when it comes to relationships, it's like I'm not getting anything out of this. This person's not getting anything out of this. It's becoming toxic as well. So it's kind of a really good review to see what is no longer serving you in your life anymore. Is it that you feel like you need a breath of fresh air, a new start somewhere else? Or it could be just a new start when it comes to work, or it could be a new start to ending a relationship and just doing you for a while. So something has to go, and it could be that you've already let that thing go, and you could be in that transitional point too. So now it's like, wow, now I'm going to take those scary kind of looking steps, especially when we see come to the edge, and then we've got the Fool. So sometimes it's like, wow, do I let it go? Do I go on to that new life where I'm like, oh, I don't know what's in front of me. It looks really scary. So this is the time to be brave. So this spread's really saying being brave about your next steps into the area you actually want to be in. Now, when I see this one, 7 of Discs, which is failure, and it's interesting when we see the word failure, it's like, oh, I failed, oh, I really, you know, I've totally let myself down. Now, when I see this, it doesn't mean it's the end. And it's like, it doesn't mean that, you know, because you failed, there's no point trying anything else because, oh, I'm a failure. It doesn't mean that at all. When we see failure, when I see this card here, I can see it's kind of like you've got these entangled sort of vines onto each of the discs, but they're all separated as well. It's kind of like that entanglement to something that has happened and it's holding me back, and it's really holding me back. So when we see this, it's like, what am I entangled in? What do I feel like I'm still connected to? This is where the card comes in, time to go. So it's time to let those tentacles go that's holding you back. Like, what is holding you back from those steps you want to take onto your next journey? So that's very interesting to see there. Now, when I see the Seven of Cups, so when we go through transitional stages of our lives and we're leaving something, we're going to something else, and it can be very scary, sometimes we'll get all these ideas that pop into our heads. So the Seven of Cups comes in, all these choices. Some of them look good, some of them don't look so good. Other ones, it's like, oh, that's shiny, that's nice. Oh, what's behind the cloaked person as well? Or should I take a chance? It's kind of like the card of gambling. Like, ooh, do I do this? Do I do that? Well, you know, should I invest that kind of money? And it's all these different options. So this card tells you to not get lost in all your options that you have. Try to gain a really good focus, and you're probably pretty aware of what the direction is you need to go into. Now, those directions that you know you need to go into in order to achieve what you want, sometimes there's quite a bit of work involved when it comes to these. So it can look hard, it can look demanding, it can look challenging as well, but there's that call for some structure into your life. So it's getting that really good focus, because when you do get that good focus and you put that work in and you've got that structure, we've got prosperity that comes in here. Prosperity lies ahead when you put the work in, especially when I see the Taurus, the new moon in Taurus, Taurus people, and the sign of Taurus, earth signs. It's all about tangible results and tangible tangible results through hard work and being able to put that into place, and you start to manifest the things you want to manifest in your life. So prosperity lies ahead when we're really putting in that extra amount of work in. So we've got the Emperor here. So when I see the Emperor in the reversed position, it really tells me that there is a lack of structure there in your life at the moment. So it's really all about starting to be the commander of your life and being able to look at the certain areas and go, okay, have I got a good routine here, there? You know, sometimes we can get lost in, oh, this looks good, that looks good, I'm not sure, I'm in that transitional point. The Emperor's like, nah, all right, this is what I want. You can see that he is, you know, someone of a high achiever. So if I put the card like that, he's got that beautiful fiery energy in order to really self-motivate himself into where he wants to be. He is someone that is very, very incredibly grounded for a fire sign as well, because you've got that fiery Mars energy there. So this is the person that's like, yep, I know how to, get the results from what I want to do and get the results from all that sense of structure. So this is about planning and structure. Now, when I see the middle of the month, it's around the middle of the month, I'm seeing the World here too. So it's like the center of it all. So I'm really seeing a good completion point. So interesting when I see time to go from anything that's not serving you, and then we're reaching a completion point. So I really feel like you are on the right path. It's just getting organized. It's getting some good goals and focus into place. But we are going to reach a sense of completion, and you can see this person here, they're floating through the wreath, and it's like, oh, now I'm ready for my next journey. So I really feel like a lot of you I've learned a lot, especially with that beautiful purple cloak, and it's twisting all around her. So you've got that higher awareness now. So make sure you take that onto your next journey when the Fool comes in here. The Fool comes in and it's like, okay, I'm going to be brave about my next journey, and I'm going to take the knowledge that I've learned from everything, like not the so-called failures, the challenges you've had, and it's like, okay, I can learn from this stuff that I've had to go through. Now, I feel like too that a lot of you are going to be transitioning into probably new jobs, new organizations. Could also be that some of you are really starting to go into more entrepreneurship type roles as well. So we've got the reversed Hierophant here. So when we see him, it's all about the group when it comes to the Hierophant. And I think it hasn't quite happened for you yet, but you're in that stage where you could be entering something else. And I really feel like when I see this too, the card, the Hierophant, that you're going to get a sense of support into this too. So that it'll be new people that you meet, but there'll be like the initiation process. And I can see keys too. So the keys tell me the keys are unlocking to like new homes, unlocking new experiences as well. So it's like you've got the keys to take with you onto the next journey, and you're going to get some type of level of support as well. So there could also be some interesting things you'll learn here too. So there will be a lot of people that will take you through a bit of a learning process. So that's beautiful to see with the Hierophant, and maybe a little way off, but I think you're going to get introduced to it in the month of October. So that's fantastic to see there. I'm also seeing too with the 10 of Cups in the reverse position. So there is a bit of an unbalance when it comes to, I think, families and friends structure. Like there was a certain point where you've had to leave something, but there might be a bit of separation when it comes to family and that. But I feel like this is going to turn around for you. And it could be where, yeah, the 2 of Cups is coming in as well. So the ending of definitely of relationships. So these two are coming in, and it's kind of like, yeah, there's been a bit of a breakup when it comes to family and friends and certain opinions from people and things. But I really feel like this is going to turn around. We've got the completion, the world completion here. So that's a beautiful sense of completion. So I think it's kind of like the licking of the wounds that needs to happen for a while. But I do think it is going to definitely turn around. There won't be it might not be quite the same, but it might be like the building blocks that need to happen in order for everyone to heal and move on. So it's not everything stays the same all the time. Sometimes it's necessary that things end, especially when time to go comes in. When something becomes too toxic, it's just too toxic, and this time to go needs to happen. Now I'm also seeing the 2 of Swords in the reverse position too. So this is interesting because the 2 of Swords is very much a defensive card. So when we've got the swords in front of us and we've got the blindfold there, but because it's in the reverse position, I really feel like you can start to see what it is you need to see now. The blindfold is off, and you can see what has happened, and you can, like, it's like the truth of the situation has come out. So that is beautiful. Now, and the waters here, so you can see the waters, and they're stirred a little bit, and I can really see now that's like the release has happened. So that water is no longer stirring, it's flushed away. So now it's time to bring in the new beautiful calm waters, and resetting what it is that you need to, or resetting yourself for the next portion of your journey, where you're washing away the old resentments, regrets, things that have happened. And it's like I can finally see the truth to the situation. And it's like sometimes, when you get that slap in the face, and it's like, you can see it in the movies, and it's like, now I can see, it's okay, I just needed to be shaken up a little bit. So I really feel like that has happened for you. So now we're really seeing that there's a new thing, a new start that you need to that needs to happen, and we can really see here it's having faith in that new start, having faith in your dreams, being really ready to have that next journey with the Fool there, come to the edge, be brave about what you want. And it's starting to really go, okay, this is me and this is what I need and what I want. Now, I can also see too, the Page of Cups. I really feel like new opportunities are going to come for you. And when I see the Hierophant and the new organization and the new induction into a new area, I can see with the Page of Cups, it's like, okay, these are the opportunities, more opportunities. So there's the Hierophant there, but I'm also seeing other opportunities that develop with this one as well. So you're going to get that sense of support, but I really feel like you're going to start to blossom and you're going to find your humor again as well, because the Page of Cups is about that sense of fun as well. It's like that childlike fun, remembering what you wanted when you were a kid and really remembering that it's okay to be a bit childlike sometimes and not be so serious sometimes. So you're going to start to develop into the person that you really want to see in your life. And I really see really good victories and rewards and things that happen with the Chariot coming in there. Once again, that's reversed as well, but I'm seeing really good victories happening, really like your time to shine sort of thing. That's what the Chariot is all about. And it's like, and also when you see the Sphinxes here, you're aware of your shadow self, which is beautiful to see. You're aware of your challenges and you're remembering the person you were. But I'm going to see really great success for you. And I'm also seeing the Queen of Wands. So you're going to utilize that fiery type energy as well. We've got the Black Cat there that is showing the shadow self as well. So I'm seeing really beautiful wholeness into a new person that is aware of their opportunities and aware of their own self-empowerment, and that they got that sense of independency. So that is beautiful to see. So that's a fantastic reading for the clear quartz for the month of October. Thank you so much.